Elite TV, and it was the last generation that lived offline. Yeah, remember when there was no internet, and even when the internet started, there was no social media back then. You went outside, you rode your bike, uh, you had video games, but you still went outside. Yeah, yeah. This phone with you had them giant house-looking cell phones and the flip phones. You didn't care about no phone back then. They just wanted a phone or a beeper to be cool, but you still didn't care about that. You still went outside, And you had the Game Boy and what's the other one? Game Gear, but you still went out and did stuff.
All right, y'all, what is up? Welcome back, welcome back. So, tonight I want to talk about a comment one of my subscribers actually left on a video I did a couple days ago. And he said something to the tune of, us as millennials are the last generation that is going to grow up without the internet. And a couple of light bulbs went off, and I was like, that's true. We are the last generation that is actually going to experience childhood without the influence of the internet. Like, crazily enough, I feel like that's making a lot of difference in how the younger generation is growing up versus how we grew up. Like, we grew up homegrown, Mother Earth, the community, everything around us.
Yeah, you went outside.
That's what influenced us to be who we are today, right? But the new generation is different because they actually have influencers, Like, they actually have people who are influencers, who are there. They're not hiding the fact that they're influencing you. It's right in your face. You feel me? And the thing about it is, us as millennials, we didn't have those. We had some celebrities, I guess, but, at the end of the day, most of them were just movie stars and, pop stars and rappers or whatever. They had a limited amount of influence on us because we had limited insight on how their life really was. So, at the end of the day, it was up to our community to raise us to who we are today. But I thought it was very interesting because, there's so many things that every generation after us is never going to get to experience because of the corruption of what the internet is. And while I'm thankful for the internet because it allows me to connect with, people around the world and, vice versa, at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because there's so much corruption on the internet. There's so much stuff that doesn't even need to be seen on the internet. I don't believe us as humans were meant to see all the things we see all day by scrolling on our phone. It's all over the reels, and things are crazy. Things are crazy. Let's just say the least. The internet is not what it used to be. It's a lot more open now. We'll just say that it's a lot more open now. But we had something very special. We had something very special. Things like, and one thing I like to think about is the dating realm in that age. Like, what would it have been like to be an adult in the mid-90s? Like, be like 25 years old in the mid-90s and actually go out to a bar or a club and none of the chicks are on their phones. Nobody's on their phones. Everybody is just looking around and conversating and vibing. Everybody has got somebody to talk to. Nobody is looking for their world inside of a phone anymore or using that to compensate for them not being socially aware.
That's over with now.
That must have been crazy. It must have been amazing. And just
everybody didn't back then. Everybody didn't do the. They weren't probably like 10 years older than us here, unless they was wild. Not everybody did the bar and the club thing, and then for the teenagers they had the little offshoot clubs that you wasn't drinking in there. You was drinking soda. That's what you was drinking. They say they was drinking something else. But yeah, the ones that was wild with it, they stayed hammered and drunk, just so they could wake up the next morning with the rough headache, like they've been getting hit in the head by Tyson or something. But yeah, no, you got 93, no internet, 93.
It was something as simple as going somewhere
social media, 93.
Like, we used to print out maps on MapQuest. Like, things wasn't readily available like they are now. Like, things weren't as simple as they are now. Things are so simple for people now. And like the fact that there wasn't any dating apps around. No dating apps. It was just all face to face. Like there's no, there's no hiding behind filters. There's no hiding behind any fakeness. There wasn't catfish. Catfishing didn't exist. There's no such thing as catfishing. What you see is what you get. And then that just makes me think about like parties and concerts and all that stuff.
Unless you change your voice on the phone and the person sees you in person and you something else or somebody else. Yeah, there's none of that. Yeah, it was all face to face. You stay home with it. Which means Outcast Kings had it even rougher back then. Okay, there was probably a bunch of what's his name? I call himself the King of Rejection. Kent. It's probably like 1,000 Kents back then, little brother. Yeah, it was probably worse back then. Yeah, because they would shut you down before you even open your mouth. It was rugged. They were cold blooded. They was cold.
To a concert and nobody has a phone now. And in our present age, we got this thing about fear of missing out, FOMO, and that didn't exist back then. The reason it didn't exist is because we didn't know what was going on. Okay, we had no idea what was going on across town. We didn't care. All that mattered what was going on in our community, what was going on with our family, our neighbors, our friends. That's the only thing we cared about. That's the only thing we cared about. It's like that thing where, nowadays we got a million movies we can watch at any time on Netflix, on Hulu, on all these.
Oh, there was none of that. You had to go to Blockbuster
and it's like,
or somewhere else or video.
It's hard to find something to watch. With all these choices, it's still hard to find something to watch. But it was so easy to always find something to watch on basic cable, wasn't it? It was so easy to find something to watch on Cinemax, HBO, all these little basic cable channels. And all we cared about actually watching was stuff like 106 in Park or TRL. That was the idea of that, Saturday Night Live. Stuff.
Okay, this dude's a little bit younger than me, but like I only watched the 106 in Park. Got a Freestyle Friday, and I'm so angry because I had a whole VHS tape and it got thrown out full of nothing but Freestyle Friday. And if I had that tape, I would have uploaded it because who was on there? Nova was on there, Jen was on there, Hassan was on there, Backlane was on there. I didn't catch Poster Boy because I think he was the first champion. Solo was on there. Yes, before the Fight Club and the UW and all this other stuff he's doing. Battle League. Yeah, a young old Solo with the cornrow. He got the last level of rap. You know that voice when you hear it. He had the voice. He's got the voice. He's been killing them out there for about 20 years. Just kicking their ass rough with it. And even if the opponent is frustrated, even he got to laugh. Like, yeah, dude, you got it. And that shit be funny. And talking about, look at this chump. Punched him in the stomach and he probably take a dump. he was something else. Yeah. But it was something serious. Yeah, because DVD was like late 90s. DVDs were expensive as hell. And the DVD player was like $200-$300 back then.
Stuff like that, like watching that with your family and friends was literally one of the greatest Saturday nights you could ever have. Having a sleepover with your cousins, playing Nintendo or PlayStation or whatever, y'all staying
okay, yeah, stuff like that, yeah.
Apollo, I know I'm bringing the old school out for y'all, but doing all this stuff.
PlayStation 2.
What created us. This is what created who we are. This is why our personalities are so different from that of our future generation. We was raised homegrown, y'all. The internet didn't influence us. Our surroundings did. But we literally witnessed the takeover in real time. I mean, from being teens to being adults, we were participants in it, don't get me wrong. But we witnessed that takeover firsthand from being like the most technologically savvy group of adults for that time period. Because as you know, if you give a kid a tablet now, he or she will out tablet you. There's no way you can out tablet a kid. They know how to do things on that tablet you'll never know how to do. And you just got to come to terms with that. You know, and there's a different dimension to this where us as millennials, a lot of our childhood was kept in private. It wasn't broadcasted on social media, either by our parents or by us creating accounts when we're...
Yeah, like, okay, if you got in trouble, unless you got whooped outside in front of the house, nobody knew about it. If you got, unless everybody, somebody, you got a whooping outside and your parents came outside and whooped you. It was under this, okay, you've been acting up in school, so we're going to shave your head bald. And all this kind of stuff. Okay, you've been acting up, we're going to take your phone and step on it. You've been acting up, we're going to take the Xbox and throw it off the roof. And all this other stuff. We're going to take the Xbox and run it over with a lawnmower. And all this other... There was no doing none of that.
Like, underage. I mean, we had our little forms of social media, but it's nothing like how it was today. We had Black Planet, we had AOL Instant Messenger, stupid little chat rooms.
Yahoo Messenger. Oh, man.
Whole broadcasted live streams with, different viewers from around the world. It wasn't none of that, guys. It wasn't none of that. But it was anything just to be social. We wanted to speak to someone. We wanted to talk to someone, reach out and have a conversation with someone. And being online was exciting. I mean, I don't know if y'all are living in the same time period I'm living in, but nowadays, neighbors don't even talk to each other anymore. When we were growing up, neighbors used to literally come outside, hang together. It used to be like King of the Hill back in the alley, like with Dale and Boomhauer and Hank. Everybody would be out there just chilling, talking, living it up. But no, your neighbor will literally drive right past you and not even wave at you nowadays. Have y'all noticed that? You will see your neighbor outside and nobody will wave. Like, I don't know what has happened. I don't know if it's the things that we've been exposed to on the internet, all the videos we've seen of, disagreements between neighbors, so we're just scared to say hello to our neighbor now. It's completely nuts. It's like we don't live in the same world anymore. And a lot of it I blame on the influence of what's being seen online. But even to simple things like watching a movie. Like, we had to go out and get the movie and bring it home. Like it was a deer or something. Like it was a wild animal that we had to hunt and bring back to the house to share with the family. A simple movie. You know what I mean? Like that does something. That does something. Being able to just watch a movie in the palm of your hand is crazy. I saw a post one time, and it compared the new generation of people to zombies, because you'll see an entire group of people walking down the street with their heads down like this, looking at their palms, because they got their phone in their hand and they can't tell where they're going. It's kind of sad nowadays.
We're seeing that.
But I'm really glad.
So I remember, what was the video a couple years ago? Girl or a guy looking at that damn phone, flipped over, fell right at. Had to see where to come out. Hold on here. Looking at the phone, flipped over and fell right in the pond because she was too busy focused on her damn phone. And the other dude got chased by a bear.
Actually being kids and living in a day and age where we could just go outside, have fun, and not think about what's on social media, what's happening here, what's happening there. All we was worried about was who is going to get picked in 3-on-3. Who's going to get picked in this game and that game. That's all we was worried about. And who's going to win the game. The most we did was gather around and play some Nintendo 64 every now and then. But even we knew how to limit that. We would play, video games for a couple hours, and then we'd go outside for the rest of the day. We'd come back inside for a break and go outside for the rest of the day.
I remember that now. I said this in another video. Dude was talking about the 90s. Okay, rushing your homework just so you could get outside. Know about that. Okay, like I said in the other video, the homework on the bus thing, that doesn't work. Because it's too much noise and too much distraction. Yeah, but yeah, rushing to get outside though. I remember that.
So it was something about drinking water from that water hose. If you drunk water from that water hose, your immune system is like ironclad, bro. Like nothing can harm you. And when we wanted music, we actually had to go out and get the music. I mean, a couple of us, we had LimeWire and a couple
recorded
of
off the
different
radio.
apps to where we could free some, we could cook something up, right? But at the end of the day, most of us had to go out and get the CDs. We knew the vibes. It was going to be $15 if you wanted that new CD, maybe even $20 if it was a brand new album. But we paid it anyway. We didn't care. We didn't care about that. And it's like I like to compare us to the people that woke up in the Matrix, because they actually knew what it was like to live in that digital world in the Matrix, and they actually knew what it was like to be in real life as a human outside of that digital world. And I feel like that's us. But yeah, we're the last generation to pretty much have both worlds. And we lived the best of both worlds, to be honest with you. Because we saw the creation of the internet. We lived through the first meme era, the first YouTube era. We lived through all these eras and saw it in first person, which was amazing. Because there are things that we can reference that the generation prior would never know about.
Yeah,
and the generation
YouTube changed so many times over the last 15 years. It changed over and over. I remember people used to get so angry every time YouTube had an update. They used to get pissed off. They'd always be changing something. I'll never forget that.
Sephora would never know about. It's only us. We only know about these, little internet memes that, happened in the early 2000s and stuff like that. It's only us. We only know about this stuff. I feel like we're the last generation to know what it feels like to be fully present in the moment. You know what I mean? And that means something, because we need to teach the future generation what it is to be present in the moment. Because most of us, I'm going to be honest, we live in our phones. So, if you were born in the millennial time period, congrats, because you're part of the last OGs that know what real life actually feels like. Keep yourself fully present in this world, because I guarantee you that's the best way to experience it, alright? If you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Yeah, that's King Ali TV. Go check him out. King Ali TV. Yeah. Still never forget that. Running home, rushing your homework so you could get outside. I remember my boy got caught doing the same thing. I could hear him when I ran to his house. He couldn't come outside right away. Okay, now don't think I'm trying to rush my homework because my friend's out there. Know about that? He was trying to get out there. I remember I had to run up to the house. So I turned around. Next thing you know, this bulldog is dead in my face. I'm running up into his house perfectly like the Ultimate Warrior. And the dog wasn't even thinking about me. He was just trying to be friendly. But I didn't give a damn about it. He just came from out of nowhere. But yeah, it's so different. Like I said in another video, internet came out when I was in high school. And the teacher was like, okay, this is the internet. And we was like, okay, what about it? Internet. It's like, we didn't care about internet. It's like, what about it? Oh, yeah, stuff changed, y'all. Used to go to Block. There is no Blockbuster. There is no more video. It's all on your phone. The movies, the video, the music, everything. Okay, like it's almost like a Back to the Future or something like that. Where's Doc Brown at and Marty?